Okay, next. I'm sorry if this video is really long, and it's been one of the reasons why I haven't done this yet, because I've bought there's so much stuff, because I've got so much stuff really cheap. I was really dreading doing this, because there's going to be so much to go through, but anyway. Next is Medaka Box, the complete collection, Season 1 Blu-ray from Sentai. There's a Season 2 called Abnormal Medaka Box, etc. Basically a series about the idea that there's this suggestion box that the student council makes, and they thought it was going to be, basically just a normal pastime where they'll help students out, but in the process of these suggestions going into the box, they discover a much darker secret, and basically a action mystery Shonen Jump series begins from there, I guess. I don't really know too much else about it. Heard some decent things. Wasn't overly desperate to get it, but again saw this going for a really good price. Again, close to half of what it normally costs. So I was like, you know what? Why not? Let's pick it up. So yeah, Medaka Box from Sentai on Blu-ray. I will be picking up Season 2 hopefully sooner rather than later. Sorry if it's a bit dark for some reason. It's a nice disc art as always from Sentai. Region 8 only. Anyway, so yeah, that's Medaka Box. I wasn't aware this was a Shonen Jump series until the main character, who I presume is called Medaka, I don't know. But yeah, until she appeared in that J-Star's Victory fighting game that's on the PS3 and PS4. I had no idea that this was a Shonen Jump type series until then. It kind of surprised me. But yeah, anyway, Medaka Box. Let's move on, shall we? Okay. Another one. This is a Funimation limited edition of Aria, the Scarlet Ammo. This only has a limited edition release. The limited edition never sold out, which is surprising when I read today that Funimation have released license for streaming Season 2, which is coming on in the full season. So yeah, that was sort of surprising that they've gone out of their way to get it, because I can't imagine this was the greatest of sellers, but I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I picked it up on the cheap again. That's pretty much been the the theme of this video, if there is one, is that these were all quite cheap for the most part. And yeah, I picked this one up really cheap, probably the cheapest of the lot in terms of something that was second hand. I think this only cost me like £10 or £11, and it's kind of like £10 or £11 for this in terms of condition. The condition is not great. I've got some sticker residue which been struggling to get off. For some reason this sticker residue is really... I'm normally quite good at getting it off nowadays, but that has been a real problem. There's lots of shelf wear and stuff, and on the back it's really bad. Like, you can see the cardboard coming through there where the actual printed image is completely ripped off, which is unfortunate. But anyway, it's a cheap way to get the complete collection on Blu-ray, so decided to do it. The seller said it was not in the greatest of condition, so but I decided at that price I was willing to give it a go. And again, it was, the spine looks okay, and that's how it will sit on my collection for the most part. So it's not the end of the world. So yeah, Aria, the Scarlet Ammo series about an assassin, I think she is, or something. It was a girl with gun show. Bit cutesy in terms of art style, but maybe not in terms of actual action. I'm not sure. Haven't heard the most amazing things about it, but I was always interested in it. It looked like it might be okay. So yeah, at that price, decided to not pass it up. Let's take a quick look at the Blu-rays inside then, shall we? So we've got the front, spine, and the back. I believe this is the DVD portion. And we've got the DVDs, and that's the reversible image. I'll just put those back together later. And we've got the front, spine, and the back of the Blu-ray. And again, reversible. So yes, that is Aria. Let's move on to the next thing. Next, we have Vampire Hunter D, the original. Obviously, there's a sequel called Bloodlust. Sentai licensed the original. Discoteca putting out Bloodlust as of this week, I think. So yeah, Vampire Hunter D on Blu-ray from Sentai Filmworks, redubbed. from Sentai Filmworks. Obviously, originally dubbed by Streamline Pictures, but redubbed here. I think the dub's okay. I really like the performance of... crap, cannot remember the guy's name. But the performance of the guy that does D, the Vampire Hunter, his performance is really good in English. He sounds kind of like Liam Neeson, even. he sounds cool. Like, badass. Cool. The main female character is played by Lucy Christian, who is a very good voice actress, just slightly overused. So and she's sort of typecast for me as Nami in One Piece. Obviously, she did loads more stuff before she did Nami in One Piece, but her performance as Nami is the one that I recognise her for the most. And yeah, it's one of those things a bit like with Vic Mignogna, or however you say his last name. Whenever I hear him in anything, I'm like, oh, Edward Elric's in this. It was the same with this. It was like the second that the main female character starts speaking in English, I was like, oh, Nami's in this. I was like, no, wait a minute, sorry, Lucy Christian's in this. So yeah, it's got the Yoshitaka, I believe that's his name, Amano. His artwork, obviously, it was beautiful artwork. He's the guy that did all the art for the first 6 Final Fantasy games. It's really dark, isn't it? Let's try and move my hand out of the way a little bit better. But anyway, so yeah, it's a really nice transfer. It's not perfect. I think I read somewhere as a review that the source material is damaged. There's parts of it, and it becomes quite frequent in the latter stages of it, where it's kind of like there's like bubbles or something. Like, I can't really describe it. It's sort of like burn marks or bubble mark. I don't know what it is. It's so weird. I've not seen a video. I don't think it's a video artifacting thing, because I've never seen anything like it. But it's like, it's almost. This is a weird description, but you know how when you see like a like bacteria or something through a microscope, so you get like these little blobs and like circle things like moving around or whatever. It kind of looks like that. And it's in the background, or even on people's faces and everything. In some of towards the latter stages of the film, there's a lot of that stuff, which is kind of unfortunate. Again, I can only assume it's part of the source material and it isn't video artifacting. I really hope it's not artifacting, because it was sort of distracting. But I ended up reading somewhere that apparently it was to do with the source materials not being in the best of condition. But for the most part, it looks amazing. Like, the details are really, really nice. Definite upgrade from the DVD, which obviously I had a bootleg of. I've now since bought again the DVD. I haven't bought Sentai's version because unfortunately this doesn't include the Streamline dub. In the case of Appleseed, one of the main reasons that Sentai went and redubbed it was, one, to bring the voice cast more in line with the later Appleseed adaptations, especially Ex Machina. So that had Lucy Christian in the lead as well. But also that they wanted, apparently the original audio source materials or whatever just wasn't up to standard of putting on Blu-ray. Like, the audio just wasn't good enough. So, but they still included the original audio as a special feature. But unfortunately, for Vampire Hunter D, they didn't do that. I can only assume that. I hope Sentai tried to do that and just didn't just disregard the Streamline Pictures dub. I hope it was just one of those cases where they weren't able to get the rights to it for some reason. But yeah, because of that, I've ended up buying an official copy now of the original Urban Vision release, which does include the Streamline Pictures dub of Vampire Hunter D. So yeah, on Blu-ray, really cool. Definitely worth picking up if you're a fan of the movie. It's still an upgrade on the DVD, most certainly, but not a flawless presentation by any means. Okay, so penultimately, one more thing after this. We got Ghost Town, the complete collection. I cannot tell you how long I've been waiting to get this for a good deal. Honestly, it was probably always at a pretty decent price. For the most part, I saw it going for between £35 and £45 on average, but a lot of the times when I was seriously considering it, like picking it up, it wouldn't be at those prices. It would be up in the 50 and even up into the £60 range, which, given it's a 2-core release, there's 22 episodes, so even though they're shorter cores, they're only 11 episodes each, it's still a 20, it's a complete series rather than just in one part or something. But yeah, I just hadn't got around to it because I was just waiting for the right deal to come along, and eventually it did. I got this for just £18. It was second hand, obviously, but it's in pretty much mint condition, which is really, really cool. So take a look at the front, and the spine, and back. And we got disc 2 and disc 3. So yeah, Ghost Hound. A series which I've heard mixed things about. It has a lot of pedigree behind it. It's a Production IG series. It's a horror, psychological series, like thriller. But obviously, there was a brief period, probably off the back of like the success of like standalone Complex and stuff, that Masamune Shirow and Production IG came together to make a few shows, original creations, not based on any Masamune Shirow manga. I'm pretty sure there's no Ghost Hound manga by Masamune Shirow, at least what. And if there is, it didn't predate the show. The show came first. I'm certain. I am certain of that. That happened. So I'm so used to getting things wrong. Always second guess myself. But anyway, yeah. So Ghost Hound. Oh, I've always been interested in it because I like Masamune Shirow's stuff. I've got the Appleseed and the Ghost in the Shell and the Minion Tank Police stuff and Black Magic. I quite like his stuff quite a bit, and but this is a lot different. This isn't a cyberpunk sci-fi production, although it might have elements of that. But for the most part, its origins and its core is of a horror thriller nature, and it sounds pretty cool. But again, as I think I was saying just a minute ago or so, that it doesn't have the greatest of reputation. I think a lot of people considered it a disappointment. Because it's not one of those shows that I hear people talking about a lot, if at all. It's one that's sort of been forgotten over time, I guess. But I've not seen it. I'm looking forward to watching it. I think maybe going in with the mindset that this isn't going to blow me away necessarily might mean I end up enjoying it. Maybe more than what I would have done, because I'm not going in too highly anticipated of it, so the chances of me being disappointed are less, I guess. So anyway, yeah, Ghost Hound, the complete collection. Really happy to finally have this in my collection on Blu-ray. So and this includes a dub. The original releases of this were subtitled, but the later complete collection releases were dubbed, which would say it sold reasonably well at least. So yeah. Anyway, that's Ghost Hound. Let's get on to the last thing. And this video will finally be over. Yes, so finally we come to the last Blu-ray in this video, the last of this pickups video. 009 RE Cyborg. This is the Production IG produced from the director, as it says, of Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex. Film, CG film for the most part. All the character models are done in CG, cel-shaded CG. And there is quite a lot of painted stuff, like just normal painted stuff in this, but for the most part it is CG. This is obviously the gritty remake, reimagining of 009 Cyborg, the classic superhero series from Japan that had been running since the 60s. There's a 60s series, a 70s series, there's a series that ran on Cartoon Network in English in the early 2000s. There's probably there is a few movies in between all that as well. This is the latest addition to the franchise, and it was the first edition that I'd really seen. The only 009 Cyborg stuff I'd been exposed to previously was 2 episodes from the original 60s series, which I think is quite good. But I really enjoyed this film. I know that fans of the franchise as a whole aren't keen on it. Mainly it changes. The art style is dramatically different from the original series. Like, the characters are much more modernized, and it's also, like I say, a much more gritty, adult vision. Like, you know, following in the footsteps of like what they've done with like the Marvel and DC universe, where it's, you know, taking superheroes seriously and moving away from the cartoon adventure of the week type style of those stories, and moving into something that's much more, yeah, gritty, mature, and very interesting. I really enjoyed this film. I really liked a lot of elements of it. I thought the mystery of it was really good. The only downside to it is the Deus Ex Machina ending. Which is, in case you guys don't know what that means, is basically it builds up all this stuff, and at the end you'll get something where it's like, we're just going to have something come in at the end that kind of explains everything away and doesn't really answer any of the serious questions that have been posed. It kind of just like a convenient plot device comes in at the end that solves up all of the complicated plot lines that have been built up before that. The only other thing that kind of annoyed me about it, there's a couple of the characters that really just get no screen time barely at all, and one of them is Great Britain, the British cyborg, as it were. He gets no screen time at all past the first 10 minutes, and then he suddenly appears at the end. That was really annoying. But yeah, there was lots of things posed in this I really liked. There was lots of amazing action scenes. I don't want to spoil too much, but I don't really... There's a part when a bomb goes off. It's an action scene, so this shouldn't surprise you that something like that might happen. But there's a part when a bomb goes off. It's fucking epic. What happens is amazing. It just looked really cool. There's like really, yeah, some really awesome scenes in this. And yeah, I really enjoyed it a lot. So, like I said, there are a lot of criticisms out there for this film. A lot of people don't like it. I would say that if you haven't seen much, if at all, of the 009 Cyborg stuff, then you could probably go into this with a fresh mind, a more open mind, and say that, and you might enjoy it because you don't have that other stuff, the more familiar stuff, so you won't be, let's say, offended by the new version of this stuff. Like, you've got nothing to draw comparison to like I did. So I ended up coming into it and really liking it. But yeah, I don't know what real true Cyborg 009 Cyborg fans will think of my opinion on that. But for the most part, I think it's really cool. And yeah, like I say, like if you haven't seen any of the Cyborg stuff, I think it's worth checking out. The packaging done by Funimation was really cool. Another one of these foil cover jobs. Looks really nice. Same on the spine and the back. And this is for the slip cover. And on the inside we get the same design. And there's also, it comes with Blu-ray and DVD. And we get a nice group shot of the full cast of the 009 Cyborgs. And then there is also a booklet, which is really useful. This is a very in-depth guide. Do not read this before watching the film. Don't read any of it, because there's a lot of plot spoiler stuff in this. But it goes a long way to explaining some of the finer points of the storyline. And yeah, I really enjoyed 009 RE Cyborg. I highly recommend it. I think it's a worthwhile viewing for anyone that likes sci-fi superhero type stories from anime. And like I said, the 3D CG animation was something, I mean, I've said many times on this channel, I'm not against CG animation. Like, it's a little bit choppy with some of the frame rates, like or just the animation of the characters walking isn't always the greatest, but overall, like say, it's a really nice presentation. There's some moments in it where I like, beyond just the bomb exploding scene that I was talking about, there's just some more subtle things that happen in this, with like the camera panning and stuff, and I'm just watching it thinking, you can't do that with 2D animation, like just straight up normal 2D. Like, you can't do that. So occasionally I do like seeing that stuff, like taking advantage of the technology beyond it being cheaper maybe to produce on average. Like, yeah, there's just some things you can do as a director, I suppose, of a production like this that you just can't do with 2D. Like, at least not effectively. So anyway, whatever, I'm gonna stop talking. That has been my giant Blu-ray haul. Oh god, my voice is dying. I'm sure your ears are dying too. Sorry this has been so long. It was just a lot of stuff and I wanted to talk about it. I'm gonna reevaluate once again how I do these going forward. But yeah, give me any feedback on this. Tell me, yeah, just tell me any feedback on just how long this video was. I don't know. So yeah, I've been Blaze. Thanks for listening. Yeah, I'll see you soon for the DVD portion of the pickups, which is very small in comparison. So that will be a much shorter video. So yeah, I've been Blaze. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.